Hey guys, Starcraft here, and as you probably saw on my tweet, and if you didn't, I'll explain anyway. I shifted, obviously, the Superman Godfall review, but most into be on Tuesday. Mostly because it just took a long time, but because of that, and because this one's a little bit shorter than the one I was going to do today, I'm also going to try and do a double video and talk about Darkseid Galactus and versus Galactus, the Hunger. Yes, this is real, and yes, John Byrne. This was, of course, during the 90s when DC and Marvel were doing a bunch of their crossovers again, and this is such a brilliant idea that only a fan come up with. In fact, a fan did come up with it. And, well, first of all, just before we go further into that, take a look at that cover. Now look at the wraparound. Just look at that. It looks gorgeous. And Darkseid and Galactus staring down at each other as you see Silver Surfer and Orion duking it out. And then you see, barely in the background, you see the Black Racer on his skis. We'll get to that in a moment. But, yeah, according to the inside cover, of course, this was done by John Byrne, and the story was dedicated to Jack Kirby, who had passed away around this point. But it says, with special thanks to Mark Gellis McFinn, who one day said to me, Galactus tries to eat Apokolips. To which, from what I understand, John Byrne and George Perez was there, and they both looked at each other and were like, why didn't we ever think of that? They eventually found the guy, tracked him down, found him, and were able to get his permission to do it because unsolicited work, don't want to get sued. He agreed, and this is what we've got. So let's just dive in, shall we? As well, actually, hold on a second. Sorry, I need to fix the autofocus, but anyway, we focus on Apokolips and New Genesis. Two worlds turn in the darkness as they have for years beyond the scope of mere arithmetic to measure in a number. And we basically get a simple summary of the wars between Apokolips and New Genesis. Eventually, there came a time when the old gods died as their destruction separated their world until it became the two new worlds, New Genesis and Apokolips. As on New Genesis, we see Light Ray and Orion flying through as they meet up with Highfather, who basically takes them to see the Source Wall, which warns them something is coming and they are to hide the world. They first don't know what it means, but Highfather has considered the message of the Source, and that this is what they must. Sorry, got a phone call cutting it off, but basically Highfather says this is what they must do. As we then see Darkseid wondering perhaps they're preparing for a sneak attack, as Darkseid's listening in on talking to him. What do you imagine you can tell Darkseid that he does not already know? They combine and being, they plan, always they scheme. My brother gods, always they think they can thwart me. And today, what petty plotting occupies their small mind? As all of a sudden, New Genesis flashes with light. I decide they have ignited New Genesis. They have set their world on fire. Listen, I can almost hear the screams as Highfather and his brood are roasted alive. I can almost smell the seared flesh even across the gulf of space. I think not. Look again into the heavens, decide. But in this time, look beyond New Genesis. Tell me what you see out there in the void. Nothing. Guessing and nothing. All the internal emptiness as always. No, wait. What is it? An answer, decide. As they see a light come through, as it's the Silver Surfer. Yep. As he flies on in and starts looking over, basically, and he finds Apokolips strange. Something had drawn him here. Now, he doesn't know it, but it was obviously New Genesis that drove him here, but since that went hidden and he sees Apokolips, he thinks, this must be it. And so, well, he's about ready to send out his signal to Galactus, because this is set before his meeting with the Fantastic Four, as all of a sudden parademons attack him as he starts, fighting them. As they do, and the sun starts to make, and look on as Darkseid wonders. There was never anything to fear, my master. Your loyal parademons have found a match of this ill-advised invader. Perhaps. In any case, I think it is past time this sad charade was ended. Master, no! A few more seconds! Worm! Is all immortal suffering nothing to you but a source of petty pleasure? There is more at stake here than your loss of stimulation, decide. And it's basically all of a sudden, as they fight more and more, and the Silver Surfer sends out a signal. And this is where he does the call for Galactus. Meanwhile, in the hidden New Genesis, Highfather looks on. Now he will come. It is only for us to wait and watch. And Orion feels like these are not words a warrior cares to hear, Highfather. This I know, my son, but still the material flame that burns in your breast. Seek in the quiet places of your soul some small understanding of what is now about to unfold. As basically he explains to him about how an old universe died, but when it was reborn, from it another was created, something more. And basically, well, that something ended up being, it's later revealed as a ship arrives. All the while, the Watcher, who's come to this universe, observes as from this ship opens up, and he who the Highfather was speaking of, Galactus, appears. So the signal has been sent. My herald has found another world to briefly satiate my all-consuming hunger. So the ancient pattern is repeated, as it must ever be, until the universe grows old and there is no further need of Galactus. And none too soon has the Silver Surfer accomplished his task. Never in all the uncounted eons of my life have my energies shrunk to such bitter dregs. Let this then be a world rich in energies of life, for though my purpose in this universe remains as yet unknown to me, I know that purpose remains as yet unfulfilled, and while it does, Galactus must ever feed, though billions die to pay the cost of my survival. As we see a probe coming through, as it starts to block out the sun, the citizens of Apokolips looking on in fear and terror, and a new fear that they have not experienced. As from the probe, then materials of a machine appear. You knew this creature was coming? How? And why did you not do nothing to shield Apokolips from its sight? Have a care, decide. Fear has made you bold, if you dare question me. Powerful this new intruder may believe himself to be, and powerful he may well be, but on this world he will find his match is met. As Darkseid sends ships to attack, but they do no good. And as all these blasts hit him, and do nothing. As Galactus, with a wave of his hand, just causes them to collapse. And he starts to create his machine. Darkseid looks on, but for a moment, anyone else would show fear, but not and Darkseid. Very well. Where one assault does not succeed, another surely will. As we then see these mech come about, and a few mechs come about from the ground, I guess. I'm not sure, but these were other creations for emergency. As they are about Galactus and size, as the two of them start to fight. Galactus blasting one of them as they continue on, but weakened by his hunger, Galactus staggers before the assault, staggers and falls. But before victory can be had, the Silver Surfer shows up and fights off these giant mechs, allowing Galactus to return back to his ship and creating his machine, the machine that would convert Apokolips into energy. We then see back on New Genesis, Orion is watching. He feels this is not right. How long must they idly stand by and watch this? As Highfather says, as long as it takes for the threat of Darkseid to be forever eliminated. But Orion feels like this is not the Warrior's code. Though Darkseid is a bitter enemy, if he is to be destroyed, it must not be because we did nothing. And he flies off. They feel there's nothing they can do to stop. They won't interfere. As Orion flies in, the Mother Box leading him, as he tackles the Silver Surfer. These two mighty warriors fight as Silver Surfer blasts Orion. And then as Silver Surfer go back to fighting the mechs, Orion starts claiming some of the structures of Apokolips before he jumps and tackles the Surfer as he knocks Orion aside and goes back to the mechs. What's this? The poor pathetic tale of the Silver Surfer is known to me, and it is something other than he himself would seem to think. Master, it would seem the Ravager of Worlds has an unexpected weakness to Sod. The Silver Surfer speaks of Galactus having called him force from nothingness, which he did a few moments ago, I should have mentioned. But this is not the case. Instead, the tale is told of a world peaceful, sought by some to be perfect. A world called Zenla. In that world there dwelled a soul made of another stuff from that which formed his fellows. And he was called Norrin Rad. And though a paradise was his for the taking, he was unhappy. And eventually explains his origin. As Norrin Rand went to Galactus, asked him to spare his world and he would be his herald, which he did. Of course, blocking his memory as he would go about being his herald, revealing worlds. How Darkseid knows this is unknown, but who cares? He basically pointed out that's the obvious, that obviously if his knowledge repressed, he's more loyal to his master. As we then see Orion continues attacking Silver Surfer, but Surfer's gotten annoyed as he blasts Orion, ready to finish him off when Darkseid jumps him and puts on a device that basically gives Silver Surfer all that knowledge. But as Silver Surfer's reacting to it, and we find out that Orion's wounds are too great for Mother Box to mend him as the Black Racer makes his way. Now, all those emotions and feelings and memories come back to Surfer as he freaks out. But as he does, he sees the Black Racer. The Silver Surfer on the surfboard and the Black Racer on the pair of skis. This is what it's all about, people. As now he realizes after what he's done that Orion will not die. Not like this. As he starts to fight off and tell off the Black Racer to leave him be. Orion will not die this day. And basically Galactus then points out, you have opened a box I saw most fit to seal years ago. Why? That the Silver Surfer might regain some memory of who he was, of all that he has lost, and so might turn against his master. As it all comes back to Surfer, and he then starts to attack Galactus. But Galactus zaps him and basically, forces him to take away those memories once again. As then Darkseid decides finally to shoot his Omega beam at Galactus, hoping he's weak enough that it will erase him from existence. But it was not. Your power is great, Master of Apokolips. But if in this you think you see a weakness in Galactus, you see no weakness but your own as he blasts Darkseid. He then gathers up the Silver Surfer and, like I said, restores him and also removes the memories again. Only to have him later restored to him when he's back on Earth. But until then, he basically asks him that he restrain these godlings long enough to complete his task. As we then find out that Orion, turns out the Mother Box was able to heal in time, and since holding off the Black Racer was, able to allow him to heal soon. As then he then lifts up, and Orion helps helps Darkseid up, mostly because he feels like a debt has been repaid. But then Darkseid blasts the Silver Surfer. But it appears that Galactus' machine has been finished as he activates it, ready to feed, and then nothing. The energy does not flow. My hunger remains unsatiated. There is no life energy in this planet. No, such as there was became a part of New Genesis when the old First World was sundered, or has been at last consumed by the fury of the fire pits. You fought me. You sent hundreds of your creatures to their deaths, standing against me. Why? Why? Look into my eyes, Galactus. Look deep, as only you can look. Do you not see in the shriveled thing that dwells at the center of my being a shadow mirror of your own tortured soul? You do what you do because you must, because there is a place and purpose for you, and you cannot deny it. So too must Darkseid do what he must do. We fancy ourselves the masters, Galactus, but we are not. Yes, we are the prisoners of our own natures. You fought to preserve this world for no greater reason than it is yours. Yes, now leave my world, Star God. There is nothing for you here. As the Silver Surfer heads aboard, as they do, Darkseid points out, Master, New Genesis is my prize for the taking, Darkseid, not his. When the time is ripe, Highfather and my battered son will fall before the hand of Darkseid. And when they do, perhaps the memory of this day will add a final, bitter irony to that defeat. This is awesome! This is by far one of the best Marvel DC crossovers. All from a fan suggestion, but just the very notion. No Superman, no one else, just Darkseid and Galactus, Silver Surfer and Orion, and a little bit of the Black Racer, but nothing else. It is a crossover, a versus mode of this finest. And it shows that even in a weakened state, Darkseid can handle Galactus. Which makes me wonder something. Is that Thanos, in the death battle, Thanos was able to knock, and they never mentioned this, Thanos was able to knock Galactus on his ass. And this was a stronger, full-powered Galactus. And yet, he can't handle Darkseid because Darkseid's a god? I call bullshit. But, oh well. Other than that, but yeah, like I said, this is some of Byrne's best. Incredible artwork. Probably one of the better times where he inked himself and it did well. Wait, did he ink himself? No, yeah, he did. One of those better times where he did it. The writing is strong, and he just, again, he had a natural understanding of both characters. I mean, longest time writing the Fantastic Four and working on the New Gods. Granted, Byrne's New Gods was never my cup of tea, but this was one of the best. So, tomorrow, with a bit of luck, I will finally be getting into this. But until then, hope this makes up. Hope I'm able to get this out on Tuesday. If not, happy Wednesday, I guess. But until then, catch you all later.